You could take some individuals and give them a phenomenal workout program and they will do really, really well with it. But I can take more people and teach them exceptional customer service and they'll do really, really well with it. It's so easy to get 20 clients and people overthink this. And I'm going to tell you my method on how to get 20 clients a week, 20 sessions a week, and how to do it within 30 days. And this is no nonsense. I'm not charging you for it. So
This stuff is so important. And I just want to say, like, and underscore the things you're saying, because I think there are obviously people in the industry who don't take to what you say quite so well. And I think that they're getting in their own way. And I think that they would book a lot more sessions, make a lot more money, have a lot more freedom if they actually, and not say necessarily adopt everything that you say, but just a lot of the things you said during this podcast, which is extremely helpful. Lawrence Neal here, and welcome back to High Intensity Business, your one-stop shop for growing your high-intensity training business and fueling your passion for high-intensity training. This is episode 505, and today I am joined by million-dollar trainer Pete Cerqua to talk about how you can adopt exceptional customer service to explode your high-intensity strength training business. Pete, welcome back.
high intensity business. I thought this was a cooking show. You should have got the right guy here.
Very good. So look, I as just leading into this one, obviously been putting some content out lately about the workout as the marketing. There's been a lot of discussion in the community online on my various platforms about, like, if we just nail the workout, nail the customer experience, we're going to grow the business. And I know that you agree with most of that, but the difference is you're much bigger on the customer service component. And my goal with this episode today is obviously always to learn from you, but to try and reconcile some of these differences here, because you've got individuals in our space who are big on the workout, feedback, intensity, form, protocols, etc. Whereas you're bigger on the customer service, professionalism, other things related to that, which I'm sure we'll dig into today. So I would like to try and reconcile those. But shall I kick off the questions, or do you want to just kick off with a statement? You got anything on top of your mind that you want to just start talking about straight away?
Well, I'm excited about this episode. I do want to talk about this, and I want to tell you how the road that we're going to go down. It's almost about genetics, and that is, you could take some individuals and give them a phenomenal workout program, and they will do really, really well with it. But I can take more people and teach them exceptional customer service, and they'll do really, really well with it. So it's really just about appealing to the masses. I can help I can help everybody with customer service, but only a few people can deliver that really, really phenomenal workout. It's almost like a genetic component. So
Okay.
I'm really excited about to talk about everything that we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. So my first question for you is success. You reckon success is more about customer service than the workout? Elaborate on that. Let's discuss that.
98%. I think it's 98% customer service. Again, I can teach you good manners, customer service. I could teach you what the client wants. And you could be, and I'm going to give you some hard examples. I can teach a trainer with no experience and doesn't even know how to deliver a workout and get them to $100,000 a year versus a trainer with exceptional skills. And I've seen this firsthand. I've had this in my studio, exceptional skills, poor customer service. And ultimately they get fired because they can't book any sessions.
Okay, I can believe that. So what is customer service to you? Like, define that. What are all the key elements there that kind of like encompass exceptional customer service? Let's start there.
I'll start with 3 people that influenced me to make me, when you're developing customer service or developing a program, okay, and something to sell, where are you getting your information from? What inspired you? So I'm going to start first and foremost with Arthur Jones, because all of our listeners know who he is. How did Arthur Jones influence me?
Yeah, he was a real people person.
Well, you're right. Right. We have that in common, right? We're both annoying. So, We're both brash.
He's
But no,
even more annoying than you.
if that's possible, right? So the first thing that struck me about Arthur, and now you'll all go back and pull up videos and look. But if you've ever seen him give a workout to Boyer Coe or Mike Menser or Ray Menser, he is dressed in a button-down shirt. The, the cuffs are buttoned. They're not rolled up. He's wearing slacks, shoes, glasses. He has a clipboard. I don't remember if he had a stopwatch or not. But right then and there, that presentation of a trainer, he's the trainer, right? That presentation of the trainer spoke volumes to me because it said, that's my number one rule. It's not about you, it's about them. And that's what he was doing. The workout is about you and the results, not about me showing off my biceps. And he's the first one to do it. So that's person number one. And that's thing number one that I picked up on. And that goes towards customer service. It's about the customer, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Second person is Tony Robbins. Everybody knows Tony Robbins. And I personally don't like Tony Robbins. I've heard him speak live. I didn't enjoy the seminar. I actually thought his use of foul language was a real turnoff to me. I'm just not into that. I didn't connect with his seminar. Somebody invited me and it was a great opportunity. I'm like, yeah, I've heard so much. And I'm grateful I didn't have to pay for the ticket because I think I would have really been upset. That being said, he said one thing during the seminar, then almost knocked me out of my chair. You want to be the most successful person in your industry, regardless of the industry, ask better questions. 3 words.
Mm-hmm.
And when he said that, it just, I mean, like, oh my God, it got me. So like I'm at the edge of my seat. I'm like, what's he going to say next? What do you mean ask better questions? And I'm trying to process it. And he went into details on how to ask better questions. And holy cow, was he right? So
What kinds of questions?
I prejudged him, yet he gave me something that was so valuable.
Uh-huh.
So thank you, Mr. Robbins. And thank you, Mr. Jones. So asking better questions leads to better customer service.
What can you give us some examples?
How are you feeling today?
Mm-hmm.
What can I give you today on a scale of 1 to 5? A 1 is a physical therapy type of workout where you're really feeling poorly, but you didn't want to miss your workout and you came in anyway. And I appreciate that. You didn't cancel. So tell me where you're at on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 is you're good to go and we're really going to have a workout. Where are you at today? You know, Pete, I'm at a 2-3. You got it. I'm going to give you a 2-3 to start. And then I'm going to check in with you every exercise to see if that needs to be adjusted or changed. That's customer service. I am addressing the client's needs and wants at that moment. And it can change every single set. And I got that. It's from Tony Robbins. Ask better questions.
Anything else?
Industry. How do I ask a better question?
Any other questions that you might ask during the workout?
It's usually, I'm looking for feedback. I want to serve them. And I tell them up front, you know, I'm not a mind reader. And you know that. You have to tell me what you're feeling. If it's too much, I'm not going to take it personally. Tell me and I'll dial it back. If it's too little and you need more, tell me. I won't take it. I want you to have what you want. It's just better questions.
Yeah.
So, and it's so simple when you really step back from it all. Like if you try to overanalyze these things, like, well, Tony Robbins says, ask better questions. And some people will like overanalyze this and start writing down like, so what do you think, how do you think the earth developed originally? And that's not a better question. It really is that simple. Don't overthink it. It's how are you?
Yeah.
What can I get you today? And then I associated that after a while, months or years, but it dawned on me because I'm a foodie. A foodie is somebody who really enjoys fine dining, and chefs they're not chefs. They're artists, in my opinion. And I just like the experience. It's not my diet. I don't eat that way every day, but to go to a restaurant Danielle and have a meal and watch what his presentation and his food is just unbelievable. But guess what? What makes those meals are the people who serve you. You never see the chef. He doesn't come out to the table, but somebody walks up to the table when you sit down, and it's never the same person twice. We're so happy to have you here with us today. What can I get for you while you're looking over the menu? Oh my God, that's customer service. That's our business. There's a lot to learn for that. So asking better questions. So the waiter asked a better question. It was about me and my experience there right away. And yeah, I applied that to my business.
So I agree with all of that, and I think that's fascinating. And there's so, like you say, so much we could learn from hospitality and these different individuals you mentioned. Fascinating, actually, that you talk about Arthur Jones being the first example of that kind of professional attire, clipboard, etc. That, because I'm guessing at that time, that obviously personal training wasn't really a thing, really, and so he was the first to almost popularize like what that looked like. And it's funny how it's transformed into all these different things. So I still want to, I got, I know I've got some questions here, but I want to go off script here because my goal really, Pete, is to reconcile something, as you know. And there's two things I'm sort of hearing. Obviously, we talked a little bit about this offline, which is you seem to, okay. So first belief is that you think that the customer service, which you've defined kind of, in summary there for us, is like literally responsible for like 98% responsible for like growing the business, not the workout. So there's that whole thing. And then the other thing is like, which you also kind of hinted at, or maybe I'm misunderstanding this, is it's easier to teach all the customer service stuff. There's only a few people that can execute on all the great workout stuff, the stuff that obviously Lucas shared recently about, the importance of giving great feedback, focusing on the client's form, being able to like juggle all that stuff in real time. I disagree because obviously I've seen organizations be able to do that at scale, teach those skills. It's just behaviors that you teach with repetition and role play, etc. You don't agree with that. You think that it's a rare individual that can do all those things. And back to my original point, I know it's a lot. You think that, well, actually, if you nail the customer service, it's going to solve most of your problems anyway, right? So do you want to start? Which one do you want to start with? Do you want to talk more about like why is it? So for instance, start with, I'll lead us, right? So if we start with the customer service versus the workout, help me like reconcile this. So are you saying that you could be training someone and not be harsh on form and not give them good cues during the set on correcting their mistakes, and you don't push someone a bit harder? Maybe I know that one. I know how you feel about that one. So maybe we can leave that one out. You don't think those things are as important for
No.
like, okay. Why is that?
And not only that, but I could prove it. And you were in the room. So I'm going back to the story of November and the Strength Forum. The Strength Forum is a wonderful event that was put on by Luke Carlson of Discover Strength.
Yeah.
And I got a text message about a week before the event. I was going to be a speaker on Saturday. I was a speaker on Saturday. Luke asked me to do a presentation. Excuse me. And he actually asked me to talk about customer service because that seems to be my thing and where I differ from everybody. But the week before, I got a text message from Luke. Hey, Pete, would you mind doing a workout demonstration at Jim Flanagan's house, private gym, the day before your talk? And with incredible excitement, I responded, yes, absolutely. And I'm like, I shook Jim Flanagan's hand once, but we didn't get to talk because of the circumstances. And I just didn't get the opportunity. But I really so I'm going to be at his house. I'm going to meet Jim Flanagan. I'm going to shake his hand. I get to talk to him. And not only that, but who's going to be there? Well, Lawrence Neal, Luke Carlson, Fred Hahn, Uh, uh, who's who? Who name 10 more, but David Landau's going to be there.
Skylar Tanner,
Skylar Tanner.
Alana and Kire from
Oh my
Evolve,
goodness. Right?
Tom,
Tom, right? Now,
whose name I never pronounced correctly, last name, Tom M.
Tom M, right? So it's, I mean, holy cow, like exceptional trainers, exceptionally successful trainers. It's, it's pretty easy for me to say that in that room, if there were, I don't know, 40 people in the room, I was probably the 39th best trainer. So if you're ranking everybody in order, I'm going to guess you put Jim Flanagan as number one, only because, it's Jim Flanagan, right? Right. And his private gym. And he's either tied for number one with Luke Carlson or it's a 1-2. And it's probably even interchangeable. And then after that, you're going to, who's who, right? David Landau, Fred. I'm like, who, oh my God. All tied for 3. But number 39 is me. Okay. So that's the scenario. Now I get this text message. I agree to it. I go into the kitchen. I tell my wife, honey, exciting news. Not only am I giving a talk on Saturday, but on the day before on Friday, I'm going to give a workout demonstration at Jim Flanagan's private gym with all these great trainers. And she goes, oh, that's nice. Let me ask you a question. What the heck are you going to teach these people or show them that they don't already know? And the blood left my face. And I nearly had a panic attack because she was right. She was actually positively right. And I was, oh my God, I don't know. What can I possibly show Jim Flanagan in a workout? What could I possibly show Luke Carlson on a set of an exercise that he didn't either invent or doesn't already know? Nothing. There is nothing. And I am not the best trainer. And I never was, and I never wanted to be, skill wise. I'm a good trainer, but I have exceptional customer service. So I went in there and I started off my talk and that demonstration with, guys, I can't show you anything you don't already know. So I'm going to show you what made me successful. And that's exceptional customer service. And here's how I apply it to the individual sets. And that was my talk, and it was well received. And I got a great compliment from Jim Flanagan, who took me aside and said, finally, somebody who gets it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
I was,
so I saw that workout and it was good. It was interesting.
it was a lame workout.
No,
It was
it was
not-
like,
It was nothing better than anybody else could do.
yeah, but you were also trying to teach as you did it. And I kind of, I felt that actually the workouts, and I think I mentioned this to Luke, or maybe Luke agreed. The workouts would have been better if they were ran as if we weren't even in the room, because then I think you just see what a natural workout would have looked like, in my opinion. But you were giving commentary as you were going. So you were trying to teach, this is you had James Fisher on the lumbar explaining how this was like physical therapy. I was like, how was your day? Like you were just kind of like using it to like catch up or whatever. And no, I actually thought it was one of the better workouts, and it was quite intense, especially the pull down, if I remember right. But what I'm trying to get to is, so you don't feel like, okay, so when you used to train clients, would you give any kind of corrective feedback if form was off, for example?
Okay, this is a great question. And I had this conversation yesterday with a team that I'm coaching. I'm coaching a lot of young trainers.
Yeah.
And I wanted to talk about verbal cues and working through the set and correcting form. And I said, listen, guys, and these are people that with very, very little experience in the personal training world. And that's in any discipline. So they're very new to it. I said, you see cues like, chest up, shoulders down, don't forget to breathe. And I think that's nonsense. And here's why. You're sitting on a machine it's $1 million machine. It took a lot of money to design these machines. If you basically go from point A to point B, you probably got it right or pretty darn close. Another thing is, does anybody wake you up in the middle of the night to remind you to breathe while you're sleeping? No. The human body knows when to take air. If you turn blue or purple and raise your blood pressure, your body will figure out how to take in oxygen. that's minimal stuff, in my opinion, in your coaching. The rest of it should just be about the set. It should just be about like the repetition and the speed and here, go to this point. Okay, hold it there for a second. That, in my opinion, is coaching. So no, I don't do
Yeah.
the form thing.
See, well, I think you're talking past each other so much because I've heard you describe, I've seen your coaching cues, right? I've heard you describe it the way you get someone to start off on a leg press, just apply a small amount of force. I've heard,
Right.
and this is very similar in terms of the way that, someone like Luke might preach great personal training in terms of that really, like you're there. I mean, the one thing that I think we can all agree on is like the most important thing is just being with them in the set, right? I mean, you spoke
But
about
being present.
being
Yes. We
present,
all
but
agree on
being
that. Being
but being
present.
with them like you're doing it together, and
Focus.
that certainly comes across when you describe that. But I guess where I'm kind of going with this, I feel like maybe you call it a different thing, but you do a lot of this stuff when you train people. Okay, maybe not so much corrective feedback, but do you do a lot of or did you do a lot of a specific positive feedback, reinforcing what people are doing well? You do that, right? When you're doing your coaching
No,
cues? No?
not, you know what? Because my protocols were set up for that. So the protocol is
Right.
to you.
Today's episode is sponsored by Imagine Strength, the game changer in safe, simple, and effective high-intensity training machines. When it comes to HIIT, Imagine Strength is your go-to for intelligently designed, efficient, and affordable equipment. Their team is passionate about HIIT, and it shows in every piece they craft. So why are Imagine Strength the right choice? Number one, they tailor-make their equipment for HIIT studios. Number two, they provide cost-effective solutions for your business. And number three, they are committed to ongoing innovation and refinement. Ready to take your HIIT business to the next level? Visit imaginestrength.com to discuss your needs and find the perfect gear for your studio. Join the HIIT revolution of Imagine Strength and transform your workout experience today. So you're walking them through the protocol when you're doing it more. So that was more of your coaching cue. So more about this is okay. Because you had a set where you were going to do things, which I guess Discover Strength do that also, depending on what protocol they use, right? I guess we're just using them as an example. Obviously, this is lots of people do it this way. But you're almost doing what's the difference between the way you did it then and narrating the set? You know how Luke talks about narrating the set? It's like a big no. It's like if you're narrating the set, you're just telling them like, okay, pull down, hold it there. Like you could just set a tape recorder up next to them, click play, and just have it like, play out the set and not a trainer even be there because it's not adding value. So how does your approach differ to narrating the set? And I don't mean that like a slide because you are super successful, Pete. So this is fascinating to me.
Well, so we wound up in the same place. Two people could wind up in the same place and take different roads to get there, right?
True.
Let's look at Luke Carlson and Luke Carlson's trainers. Luke Carlson's trainers are accomplished people before they even ever deliver a set. They're exercise physiologists. They're well educated. They've got degrees and a level of education far past me. Luke Carlson himself is 10 times the trainer than I ever was. 10 times. I love watching him. I mean, I'm a fan. Okay. Yet I had a 7-figure a year business. So I had to work with my strengths. And interestingly enough, to develop me to be successful is a way that I could develop more people. There's more people like me than there are like Luke.
True. I get it.
Find another like Luke can't even find another Luke to work for him. He's exceptional. Like
He's cultivated some incredible trainers there. So
yes. No. He has incredible training. I've seen some of his staff, some of his people are, but they're second. They're not equal to him. He's pretty darn good.
Oh no, he is. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, I've been trained by Luke. By the way, for those who are just tuning in, I have no idea who all these people are we're talking about. I must give context. So Luke Carlson, CEO of Discover Strength, fantastic business, probably the top business in high intensity strength training. huge across obviously North America. And then all these people were talking about at this event where Pete was doing the workout. That's the Strength Forum. And if you're interested in attending that this year, I think that there might be some availability. So please email luke@discoverstrength.com. Sorry, Pete. Please resume.
No, that's all good stuff. So, you've got an exceptional group of people in like Luke and his exercise physiologist. They're going to go about their success in one way. I'm going about it with a different group of people in a different way. We're all going to be relatively successful in the end, but they're really different approaches and they're different people. And honestly, if you were to put me under Luke's tutelage, I don't know that I'd make the cut. Like if you were putting me and 100 of his exercise physiologists in a room and saying, okay, you're all going to interview for the job, I don't know that I make the cut. I think there's 98 people that couldn't come before me. So, but did I make a successful business? Yes. And that's what people can relate to. I'm not telling you my way's better. I'm telling you how I did it. I had to take my genetics and my limitations, and I still wanted to be ridiculously successful. That was my goal. I wanted to book more sessions and make more money than any other trainer anywhere on the planet. I don't know if I did it, but I came darn close if I did.
Yeah.
So
I think the reason I'm starting to realize is I obviously, when I was running Optimus Strength here in Galway, I very much paid attention to what I was learning from a lot of the guests on the podcast and friends I'd made, but a lot of the way I was delivering the workout was very similar to the way Luke teaches it, and I just felt like I got it straight away. Like I could just do it, and clients seemed to really like it, and I just was working really well. And then when I learned more from yourself in terms of customer service, my immediate thought is, and it's not to blow my own trumpet, but this is just the lens I was looking at this through. I was like, okay, yeah, I just tack all that on. I would still deliver the workout in the way that I was doing it, but I would also maybe improve these different elements of exceptional customer service that you talk about too. And then I guess my then natural thinking is, well, surely anyone can do that. Whereas you're saying, actually, that's quite hard. And the reality is, and this is what I find quite exciting, is we can, as we've been talking about during this, before this podcast, we could take someone from 0 to 20 sessions in 30 days with a much simpler approach, which doesn't take so long to teach someone, right? And it's not as hard to do, right? And that's exciting because it's then more accessible to more people, to your point, really. And I think that, yeah, that's not the way I was looking at it before. So
the ultimate goal, especially for the people that I'm coaching, and there's good friends of ours that come on board with my coaching and have not delivered a session. Their business has not started. And I feel the pressure of that. Like I need to get these people to 20 sessions a week, like immediately. And I can do it usually within 30 days. And these are people that are obviously not as skilled and as good as, let's say, a Discover Strength employee. Yet I've got to make them successful. So that's why my approach is a little bit different, and I can identify them. Here's another thing that I think you almost alluded to is that if you and I went to Discover Strength and applied for a job, I think you'd get it. And I don't think I would.
That's only because I've asked Luke for a job like 4 times.
Buttering him up is always a good way. Yeah, he's got very high standards. He's very strict about what he wants and what he does. I think you'd make a cut with your training style and your experience. I don't think I would. And I don't take that personally.
Mm-hmm.
What I did is I took that information and I wanted to be successful anyway. I had to just turn it on its head and find a different way.
Mm. He probably wouldn't hire you, Pete, just because you'd leave and take all the clients or try and take them all.
I don't think the clients would go with me. He's got a following there that wants intelligent, successful people. That's not saying.
Fair enough. Do you know what I was thinking? While we're talking about, I'm sure we pricked some ears with the 0 to 20 sessions in 30 days, which we're really proving out now, which is so cool to see in the high intensity business community. And it's a lot of fun to see the guys actually getting serious results really quick. So I thought we would touch on that tactic that we're both talking about. You know, the first tactic you have new trainers do. Do you want to just explain that in terms of asking for a favor, that one?
Yeah. Before asking for a favor, the first thing I want to discuss with them, and I have them figure it out on their own with a writing process I'm going to share with you right now.
Hmm.
But it's, what do you do for a living? What do you do? Why is your workout different? What are you selling? And I ask that question, and you'd be surprised how the answers that you get. And I've caught the most experienced people in the world with this question off guard. And the answer they give is like a novel. It's like, a high intensity training started with Arthur Jones and Arnold Schwarzenegger. And then my,
Blah,
like,
blah, 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 blah.
well, I just asked, well, what do you do? Why is your workout different? That's a, it's almost like a rhetorical question, right? But not. So with the new trainers, what do you do? Why is your workout different? And they start with their answer. I'm like, great. Now, what I want you to do, your homework is write that down and then see if you can refine it to a point where it's like almost like a tagline. So with me, and it took me years to get it this way. Pete, why is your training? You're a personal trainer. Why is your, well, I motivate people and we get a good result. Okay, that sucks. I hate that. What I came down to was, well, my workout is 15 minutes once a week. You don't have to sweat or change your clothes. Bam. That's a sales tool now. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you can copy mine and don't give me credit. I'm not looking for credit. You can tweak it. You can change it, but whatever you do, come up with your tagline, so to speak, where it's intriguing. It provokes a question. Whoa, did you say 15 minutes or 50 minutes? I said 15, 1-5. That's a win. I got a question.
Before you keep going on that, I'm really curious. I love that. Obviously, that's one of my favorite things. That every time you say it, I never get tired of it. Such a great one-liner. Wait, what? I'm curious. Like, where did you learn to do that? Was it a book? Was it some kind of inspiration? Where did you learn that?
I got bits and pieces of things over the years, like Dress for Success. The book Dress for Success is a wonderful book, but
Mhm.
I got my dressing cues from Arthur Jones, Tony Robbins on asking better questions, Ellington Darden on my workout protocols and customer service. I mean, that was a light bulb moment for me. As far as the tagline goes, originally it came up when I started writing my first manuscript. I was asked to put together a treatment or a manuscript for a publisher. And I was starting to do it, and they taught me how to write in my voice
Mm,
and to get to the point quickly and get people's attention. And the writing process helped me tremendously. So I teach that.
cool.
So
All right.
writing in your voice is very important.
Yeah.
And it also helps with your customer service.
Yeah. Okay. So you have them do this writing exercise. Was there more to the exercise, or is that mostly?
It's great. A
Yeah.
week later, when we get back for our next meeting, what did you come up with? And
Can you, without, I mean, you can share names or not, whatever, but do you remember any that the guys come up with? Because obviously everyone wants to just copy yours, Pete. But I would love to hear some alternatives if you can remember.
some people took some of my cues and tips seriously, and instead of using the words high intensity, they used the words time efficient.
Ah, yeah.
We have a time efficient program that will achieve more in one session with me than a week's worth at the gym or with another trainer. Now, it's not
Like that.
4 words and bam, but it's one sentence and it's really to the point and it's attention getting.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. And any more to that, or do you want to just move on to this tactic that we touched on?
Uh, being getting to the point I don't want to understate this. I can't stand diarrhea of the mouth. It's a horrible disease. What do you do for a living? Why is your workout different? What do you do? And oh my God, you can see in their eyes, they want you to just shut up. Okay. Don't go down that road. You'll never get a client ever in your life. If you can just zap it out there and be different and be to the point, you'll gain a lot more. And that'll segue into, how do you get more? It's so easy to get 20 clients. I can't tell you. And people overthink this. And I'm going to tell you my method on how to get 20 clients a week, 20 sessions a week. Okay. And how to do it within 30 days. And this is no nonsense. I'm not charging you for it. So,
Let's go.
For $15,000, I promise you'll make $100,000 a month. Everybody's seen those ads. Okay. I could squash them.
They drive you crazy, don't they?
They drive me crazy. Absolutely. Right. You know, it's a scam, and yet people fall for it. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the magic words. Hey, would you do me a favor? I'm going to say it again. Hey, would you do me a favor? So I take Tom Miller is a good friend of ours, and he just started his high intensity business, and he rented space and he bought beautiful brand new equipment. And holy cow, he's doing this, and he doesn't have one session, and he hired me as his coach. And, he was really relaxed about it and confident. He just knew he was going to get somewhere. I probably felt more pressure than him. And Tom, we need to get you to 20 sessions a week like yesterday, right? He's not worried about it. I am. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to call anybody and everybody you know. And I want you to ask them for a favor. So if you're selling your business and you call somebody up on the phone and you say, hey, listen, I just started my personal training business. Do you have a credit card on, Andy, can I have the number? You can get a lot of hangups. Anytime you're going with a sales approach, people are going to put the guard up right away. Always going to ask me for money. I got to come up with an excuse. No, I can't. I got an injury. I don't have time. I'd love to, right? We've all seen that. And some of these other coaches will tell you, it's a numbers game. You got to get turned down 1,000 times to get the one yes. I've heard that, and I've seen that coaching, and I'm like, oh, but that's horrible. I wouldn't do it, right? I need 99 out of 100 yeses. How do I get that? Well, easy. Don't ask them for anything, right? Don't ask them for their money. Don't ask them to sign up. Hey, could you do me a favor? What's the favor? I just opened up this new personal training studio. I've got this unique workout program. It's 15 minutes once a week. You don't have to sweat or change your clothes. Would you come in and do a session with me? But here's the favor. I need feedback. Everybody in the world, yes, I would love to help you out with that. You want my opinion? Yes. People love to give their opinion. Book 100 of those. You'll wind up with 20% easily, probably more, but 20% will turn around and say, hey, I'd like to do this every week. Here's my rates and policies card. Done. That's it. There's no sales pitch. There's no 1,000 no's for the one yes. It's that easy. Ask for a favor.
And I agree. And I think it's just genius. And it's so obvious. I mean, we taught a slightly different, probably more salesy approach ahead of learning about that. But yeah, when I heard that, I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And straight away, when I shared that in an Instagram story or reel, I had a comment from a follower, Andrew, who was like, yeah, I did exactly that and got 11 clients in 22 days, right? I was like, oh, okay, interesting. So yeah, this is happening all over the place. And also we haven't even spoke about is a lot of those people will talk and they'll tell other people, and you probably got your 40, 60 just through referrals over the next couple months. Eh?
Well, we piggyback on that. And when somebody comes in and has their free session and gives their feedback, you end it with, hey, who do you know who would like a free workout and would like to give me their opinion?
Yeah.
And
beautiful.
Now, if the question is asked improperly, so who do you know who wants to sign up for $65 for 30 minutes? I don't know anybody, which is going to be the immediate answer every time. But for an opinion and for doing me a favor and helping me out, and I want to make sure I'm going in the right direction with this, because I just studied it recently and I think it's fascinating. But what's fascinating to me might not be fascinating to you, so I need to hear from you.
And also, I can see how this goes. Someone comes in, they have a great workout experience. Maybe they're thinking about signing up themselves. They say, you ask that question and they immediately go to, well, I know so-and-so would definitely be interested in joining. And I bet you would say to them, don't worry about that. It's not about that. It's just about getting feedback. I just want to get more experience. I want to expose this to more people, right? You're not then going, oh yeah, that'd be great.
That's 100% me.
Right.
I'm a soft sell approach. And if
Yeah.
you've ever studied or read about the soft sell approach, it really is hands off. There's no pressure. It's really a backdoor way of doing it. And when I first learned of it 30 or 40, probably 40 years ago, it just really resonated with me. That's me. I don't like asking people for money. You work hard for that. I don't like asking, but we'll ask for a favor. We'll ask for feedback. Yeah, I'm really comfortable with that.
It's so funny to hear you say that because people would assume the way you come across that you're very salesy, right? Which you aren't. And yeah, it's quite counterintuitive actually. It's not what you expect when you first meet you, you know? You've always been that way though. You've always had a certain approach to this. That's not, yeah, go ahead.
My mother used to always tell people when I was a kid, and I'm like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, Peter can sell snow to a snowman. And and at first I didn't quite, because I'm so young, I didn't quite get it. But what what I figured out later on is I can convince somebody to try something if I was passionate about it
Mhm.
and I believed in it. I cannot sell. Because I then told my mother years later, I'm like, "Hey, mom, remember when you used to?" And she said it even when I wrote uh, my first book. I think I even quoted my mother in there about how I can sell, but it wasn't how I could sell. It was when I was passionate about, when I believed in it. Because my example, I am anti-smoking. I don't like it. It disgusts me. I don't do it. I don't care if you do it in your house, but just don't do it in my house. Okay. That's my thing. So how about this big number, $10 million a year, the tobacco company approached me and said, Pete, we hear you sell really well. We'll give you a $10 million a year salary. We want you to sell cigarettes. I can't do it. I can't, not even, and
Sure.
I'm going to be hungry like I can't do it.
Yeah. But what well, the thing is though, that is you are a great sales guy because selling, you know this. I'm just saying what you already know, which is that people that aren't in sales or have no experience in sales assume that great salespeople are really bullish and aggressive a lot of the time. When great salespeople do exactly what you say, right? They genuinely have high conviction in what they're selling and they help people to be better off and they're not pushy about it. Because as soon as you start being pushy, it's desperate and it just, you know, it pushes people away, obviously. So I actually think that the way you did it and the way you do it is actually fantastic salesmanship. And it's the kind of salesmanship that I wish that when people thought of sales, they thought of that, not what sales is kind of stereotypically, which is why it has so much stigma, right? Like when I was in technology sales, it was very slowly catchy monkey. It was like, I mean, I was in complex IT deals that would take 12 months to close. So you're constantly just serving and just providing as much value as you can during that sales cycle to get so the prospect has all the information they need. And you obviously you're doing your best to fit your solution to their specific need, but also being really honest about knowing when it's not the best fit and saying that and referring someone else, which obviously only the really great salespeople did because it takes a real character to do that and confidence, but it comes back in spades, obviously. Um, so yeah, it's like the best salespeople in that domain were acting exactly the same way. They weren't really pushy and brash, and those were always the crappy salespeople that were always, struggling to hit their quotas every month.
Probably true.
Yeah.
It's just, you know what? It all comes back to my number one rules that I invented for myself originally. It's not about you. It's about them.
Right.
And I did that in a public gym when I saw, I was trying to be a successful trainer in a sea of trainers, and, who's wearing a tank top and, and it's about me, and and they were selling and they were booking, but I feel like they were booking for all the wrong reasons, and it wasn't long-term and it wasn't a good solution. And they weren't paying for a service. They were buying their time, like almost like they owned the trainer. I didn't like that at all. So I really wanted to flip it on its head. So it's not about you, it's about them. So how do you sell that way? Well, this is about what I can do for you. So I could save you 6 hours a week. Does that interest you? You don't have to, bleed or, throw up or, get yelled at. We could do it a little bit more intelligently. So it was always about what I could do for them. And if that appealed to them and they wanted to see me again, great, here's my information. It was just a really soft sell approach.
Yeah, that's awesome. And thank you for sharing that amazing tactic in detail for people. I think the way you articulate it is just genius. God, I keep saying it, Pete, but this industry needs you. It really does. This stuff is so important. And I just want to say, and underscore the things you're saying, because I think there are obviously people in the industry who don't take to what you say quite so well. And I think that they're getting in their own way. And I think that they would book a lot more sessions, make a lot more money, have a lot more freedom if they actually, and not say necessarily adopt everything that you say, but just a lot of the things you said during this podcast was extremely helpful. Pete, we're going to need to wrap there, but any closing thoughts before we do?
No, if anybody has any questions or they want to discuss any of this with me, they can reach out to me through the High Intensity Business Podcast and you, and I'm always happy to discuss.
Yeah. So on that note, obviously, if people want to get free community and courses to help you start and grow your personal training business, then please go to school.com/HIB. Wherever you're watching or listening to this, there'll be links there for you to join the free community where you also get access to myself and Pete occasionally. And there's access to the paid High Intensity Business community too, where there's some serious hit entrepreneurs and a lot more resources to help you start and scale your hit business. Pete, a pleasure as always. Thank you so much. And this is Lawrence with High Intensity Business, and we'll talk to you soon. This episode is brought to you by Imagine Strength, your go-to for safe, simple, and effective high-intensity training equipment. Growing a successful high-intensity training business requires workout equipment that's not only high quality, but also intelligently designed to fit the unique needs of your studio. And that's where Imagine Strength comes in. Drawing on the wisdom of the legendary Arthur Jones, Imagine Strength has crafted a groundbreaking line of fitness equipment that's as affordable as it is efficient, giving your studio the upgrade it needs without breaking the bank. The team at Imagine Strength breathes HIIT. Their passion for high-intensity training shines through in their designs, which they've consistently refined and innovated for optimum effectiveness and user experience. From my personal experience at Rec, I can attest to the careful consideration and craftsmanship that goes into every single piece. My Imagine Strength workout was absolutely brutal, in a good way, of course. Now, what makes Imagine Strength truly stand out? They have innovative equipment tailored for the unique needs of HIIT studios, affordable and efficient designs, lowering the barriers to entry for a HIIT business, continuous innovation and refinement ensuring your studio stays ahead of the curve. Founder Jeff Turner and his team are dedicated to moving the HIIT industry forward and making strength training accessible to more people than ever before. Here's how you get started. Number 1, visit imaginestrength.com. Number 2, discuss your specific needs with the team. And number 3, select the equipment that will propel your business to the next level. Head to imaginestrength.com today and give your HIIT business the Imagine Strength edge. Be part of the HIIT revolution and see firsthand how their unique equipment can transform your studio's workout experience. Elevate your HIIT business with Imagine Strength. Let's go.